I think the most therapeutic process in the entire kueh making is washing up of the pandan leaves. Because all I can do is take my time, run my fingers through it, running water, and make sure that every single piece of leaf is being cleaned. Glutinous rice plays a very important role in kueh, not just as a filler, but as a texture contrast. When you're eating a piece of kueh which has glutinous rice in it, whether it's a savory kueh like your pulut panggang or a seri muka, or even a pulut inti which has coconut in it, their rice is of the utmost importance in terms of the texture. For gula melaka, especially when you're making onde-onde, there's a certain way of how you shred the gula melaka, how you slice it, to ensure that when you're wrapping the dough with the sugar, when you cook it, it melts completely.
Hi, my name is Dinesh Rao. I'm a restaurateur and a food lover, especially Asian food. Cooking and baking, it started probably about 10-15 years ago, when I was living alone. So that's when you're missing home, you want to reminisce about your mom's cooking and all that. That's when I started going back to the basics of home cooking. And as for kueh making, the Nyonya Kueh thing, say about at the start of MCO, I would say, that's when I started picking up the whole art of kueh making.
I come from a mixed parentage family. My mom's Chinese, my dad's Indian, and both of them love food. And that's how my love of food basically grew since I was a child. I think a lot of times that people are basically not encouraged to make Nyonya Kueh at home. It's probably because of the tedious process that's involved with it. How you need to make sure that you use natural ingredients instead of coloring. Good food is more than just eating. It transcends all boundaries, especially cultural boundaries.
I didn't start my Instagram as My Asian Kitchen. I started it as Dinesh Rao. It was only until, I would say about 2 years ago, when I started to change my handle name. And one day I was in bed and I was just scrolling through and I was like, hey, the stuff that I make, I need to give it a name to it. So I clicked on it and I searched a few handles and somehow I said, why not call it My Asian Kitchen? Back then I started cooking a lot of comfort food, basically home cooking. And I want to share it with people who, not necessarily you might want to cook it, but at least know the process behind it. We in Instagram, a lot of us inspire each other. I think the whole community of Instagram, knowing who to follow, really gives you the inspiration to cook and be creative. I always cook with my mom, especially when I get the chance to go back to Ipoh to visit her. I will cook, and particularly during Chinese New Year. It's getting old and all that, so I always want to learn how to cook certain dishes, especially festive food. I think it's this sense of achievement that I get out of making kueh, despite being stressful. It brings you back to childhood when you successfully make one. It's like you remembered it, when your grandma brought it to you or your mom bought it for you, when you eat it, and when you successfully make it, you feel proud that you are reconnecting back to your roots.
For kueh angku, there are many steps involved in producing a really yummy one. It all starts with the filling itself. There are two main ingredients in it. One which involve sweet potato, steamed sweet potato, mash them up and then mix them with glutinous rice flour and color it with your whatever that you wish to color, whether it's the red traditional angku or green from pandan or blue from blue pea flowers. From there, You use the filling and the dough and form it into your desired shape. Usually we would go with a traditional Angku tortoise shape. For most of the celebratory occasions, they would call for that. But for me, because I would like to modernize the whole look of Angku, and that's what I've been doing, and I've been playing with different kind of molds from different animals, tortoises, fish, even to the cat. And you just have to fill them up, press them into the mold, knock them out, place them onto a clean banana leaf, and then steam them for a good 9 minutes. Occasionally, you have to open up the steamer to release the steam. All the design on the Angku will not be lost due to the pressurized steaming process. And once it's done, you take them off the steamer, let them cool a bit before you brush them with a layer of cooking oil. To bring my Angku to the next level, in terms of modernizing it, I'll finish up the whole process by adding gold flakes to it. Not a lot, but just enough to add some touch of luxury to the whole Angku that is being presented. The other part of me also loves collecting crockeries, not just Peranakan crockeries, but also Chinese crockeries. And I like it because I find that these are lost arts. As we go into the next century, we probably wouldn't be able to find them anymore. And one of my favorite set that I bought from Malacca is blue and white dinner plates. I think by far that's one of my greatest finds.
My yam cake, if I were to describe it, it's basically a sensory experience of texture and taste. I don't like to eat food where it's very one-dimensional, where it's either soft or hard. I top it with a various type of ingredients, from dried shrimp to crushed peanuts to sesame, fresh spring onions and chilies. That is basically my take on a very, very good yam cake.
I think there's no perfect time for enjoying kueh. They are best enjoyed any time of the day. But if you must, kueh is best enjoyed shared with friends, over a nice conversation, or even over a cup of hot tea. Simple stuff like that.